You guys ever have one of those days where you just wish you could go back to bed? That's what's going on here today. So it's a Monday morning. I don't know if there's any correlation that it's a Monday morning or it just was bound to happen no matter what, but came in this morning right off the bat. Somehow miraculously over the weekend my farm truck sprung a leak in a fuel line, so that's dead in the water, sitting broke down out on the farm. Gotta do something about that. So I was off to a real nice start first thing. And well, started sawing, finished up an oak order, sawing on some walnut here, and yeah, this happened. That is not supposed to look like that at all. I don't know if the camera picks it up. It's all bent up. What a mess. I wish I could tell you I knew what happened. In all my years and hundreds of thousands of board feet of sawing, I have never seen such a thing happen. To be honest with you, I don't even know why I'm making this video other than the vent, but I figured I might as well pick up the camera and show you some of my pain and suffering today. So I was running here, squared up this third face, was pulling the slab back towards me, and I stopped the saw head, and the blade was over top of the cant like normal. I stopped the drag back, I grabbed the slab, I went to throw it into the rack, and I don't know, I had my set work set. These are the original Woodmizer set works. They're not the new AccuSet that comes on mills now, and it works really good. I have no complaints, except every once in a great while, like great while, it'll say caution overload and it'll just do something really weird. Well, apparently on its own, just sitting there, it decided to do caution overload. I turn around to see the saw head dropping, and it just dropped right on top, dropped the blade right on top of that cant and just kept dropping. And that's a really heavy saw head with that diesel engine on there, and the blade started pushing up, and it just bent this arm all to heck. This arm is all bent up. That guide wheel is bent up. What a mess. What a mess. What a stupid thing. I mean, it's something you couldn't even ever predict would happen. I don't know why that thing glitched out randomly with nobody touching it, nothing going on, but it happened. I don't know. This is not how I wanted to start my day. I've got a lot of wood to saw. That pile on the right's about 10 foot high, and there's a lot of logs to go through here, and this is not what I need on a Monday morning. So what I know for fact, it actually popped this off of these wheels here. I can't tell what's bent and what's not yet. It's kind of a mess. I guess I'm just going to start tearing stuff apart and see what I can figure out. Hopefully I don't have to replace this whole arm. I don't know. Can you feel my frustration? Yeah, this is a great business. Just everything goes smoothly, never any problems. You just mint money, right? Well, let's get some tools and dig into it. So that wheel there has bent something terrible. The bottom two, well, a little too early to tell. This one looks like it's bent. I'm gonna have to put a straight edge on them. I'm gonna end up tearing this straight down to basically the bare frame. I'm hoping this main framework isn't bent, because that is going to be an absolute disaster. I'm going to get this arm off and start seeing what's straight and what's not. Pays to keep some cheap tools around. The only thing I could get in there onto that nut was an impact socket from Harbor Freight that I ground down around the edges. I would have hated to do that with an expensive socket, but you know, Harbor Freight stuff has its uses. So here's where I'm at. This stud is bent slightly down, just ever so slight, like a 1/16 of an inch. Maybe I'll loosen this up and finagle it and tighten it back up and get it right. This one is bent way up. It's got to come back down. Problem is, if you look very closely there, you see there's a buckle in the middle. That's like a 3/16 plate. It actually buckled it. That is going to be a big problem. All I can think to do is bring the torch out here, heat this up, put a pipe or something on here, and just try to flex it back down. I have to get myself a little square and try to square this up, because these need to be square. That's obviously the problem. What happened when that arm went up, it bent this up and this one down, kind of pivoted on that one, which ironically enough, that one stayed what seems to be straight. There's a little bit more meat here on this part of it than on the ends though, so I think that's why that it gave at its weakest points. The arm itself, best I can tell by putting a straight edge on, I think it's straight. I think. I won't really know. This guard here has a little bit of a bend to it, but that doesn't matter. It's just a guard. But I think this whole assembly is okay. I won't really know until I get it all back together, because, well, it's just really hard to get straight, perpendicular, 90-degree angles on any of this stuff. There's really nothing to go off of, you know. Unfortunately, it all kind of works off of itself, so it's really difficult to kind of tell what's what here. So I need to get another square and just kind of start working my way through this and trying to just pick a point and squaring it off of that and going from there. Not what I expected to be doing this morning. Upon further review, I wasn't too fond of bringing the torch out here on top of a bed of sawdust. Didn't seem like a good idea. So I figured I'd try it just with brute force first. I got this one back. I think it's pretty good. I'm working on this one. Needs a little bit more. I found the right size pry bar. Happens to be a 10-foot piece of steel. Way overkill, but it's what I got that fits on there nice. And I've just been going little by little. Just a little pump at a time, and checking it with 2 different squares. Working my way back to it. We'll see. Trial and error. Never done this before. I doubt anybody out there has. But between my little square and my big square and just trying to touch all different points, I'm getting there. I'm pretty close. Real close, actually. Maybe about a 1/16 yet. Strong 1/16. Oh, that scared me a little bit. Thought I snapped it. Just kind of, the steel slipped off the nut there. I'll keep working at this little by little until I get her what I think is as close as I can. Let's see how I did. Things are maybe starting to look up around here. I got them bent into place. I tightened everything back up. I checked the alignment over the bed rails, and she's moving pretty nice. And she's tracking in a straight line. I think the blade guide wheel's okay. Probably needs to be realigned. This one, well, it has 2 bent bolts. I got one out. I gotta take it in, put it in the vise, take the other one out. Gotta go get new bolts because I think those are a weird size. I doubt I have those here. I have to check. Things are coming along. I think I'm out of the woods on this one. I think. I'm still gonna have to go through the whole alignment of everything, which is a real pain. That's probably an hour in and of itself because it's gonna have to be like a total complete alignment, which is a real shame because I had this thing running really nice and everything was done, and I got to put the chain and motor back on for that blade in and out guide, which I had just done not too long ago. Made a video about that. That's a real pain to do that. So kind of working 2 steps backwards, 1 step forward. That Ranger has a blown motor too. Another fun fact. That happened last week. When it rains, it pours around here. But I'm hoping that's my 3rd breakdown. I always say these things go in 3s. So if that's the case, the Ranger, the truck, the mill, the 3 breakdowns, I should be good for a while. I really hope so, because I don't mind wrenching on this stuff, but it gets expensive and it gets old. It just wastes time that otherwise should be spent doing something productive. So let me slap this thing back together. We'll see if we can cut some wood here. Well, let me show you what goes on here. I just got everything back together and aligned. Hours I've been working on this. I actually did, in full disclosure, I had to take off an hour and a half. I went and had lunch at my kids' school. They had a parent lunch day, so I got to eat some cafeteria food for the first time in a real long time, and well, that hasn't changed at all. But no, it was nice to go eat lunch with him. Got it all buttoned up, new blade, everything's should be in alignment. It was a real bear. Anybody who's ever done an alignment on a mill knows you change one thing and it messes up something else, and it's a back and forth until you get it just right. I think I'm there. I'm not cocky enough to put my tools away yet, so they're all still sitting here. Let's fire this thing up, try to make a straight cut. It's late. I should have been out of here 45 minutes ago. So I want to get this done. I just want to make sure it's working right for tomorrow morning before I leave. So I'm just going to stand that camp back up, take the slab off, and see how she cuts. Well, there you have it. A nice smooth cut. Crisis averted. Now, of course, those of you that know, a brand new saw blade likes to cut straight. We're actually going to see the test tomorrow morning once I get a few logs under this blade, and that's when they like to start wiggling, when your alignment's not quite right. You know, right off the bat, you can get away with a lot of sins with a brand new blade, but the fact that everything's moving free, it went down the track and cut a board nice and straight, I'm optimistic. So if you would have asked me at the start of this video if this mill was going to be running by the end of the day today, I would have said no way. I would have thought several $100s in parts and a couple days downtime waiting for parts. So I'm going to do what we do in this business. I'm going to go home, drink a beer, do some kind of mental gymnastics, and tell myself that today was a positive day because, you know, I ended up coming out ahead somehow because I just lost a day and didn't spend a couple $100s in parts. We've all been there. That's what you do. You try to twist things in your head and make it, you got to spin it for the positive. Otherwise it'll just beat you up too much. But I am chalking it up as a win, even though I pretty much lost 3/4 of a day of production. So thanks for sticking it out with me. I'll catch you guys next time.